Well, hi guys, welcome back. I really hope you can see me. I'm trying something a little bit different this week. I've noticed that the camera, the front-facing camera, has a lot clearer picture. It seems to have a lot less lighting issues than the rear-facing, like, selfie camera. Problem being, I can't tell. I think I have this set up so that I am somewhat in frame, and I think I have it set up so that I will be able to show you stuff, but I don't know, and we'll find out at the end. And the very first time I recorded this, somehow the phone had flipped itself back into selfie mode, and so I did a 20-minute video of my television, but you could hear me talking in the background. I don't know. Also, just one moment. This was sitting right next to the tripod, and someone was about to knock the tripod over, and she's already spent 5 minutes on my lap the first time I recorded this, so we're gonna see if this works. She doesn't know where it is. Hopefully she'll spend the entire time looking for it and won't figure out that it rolled under a bag over there. So we'll see, hopefully. Oh, never mind, she found it. All right, so there's a high potential for Lexi interference today. Part of the reason is she's pretty wound up because I just got home from work. It's been a crazy day, and I got home and realized that I put my bedding in the dryer, but forgot to hit start before I left for work. So my bedding is wet. And I could put another set of sheets on, but those are my favorites and they're the softest. And so I'm doing this while I wait for my sheets to dry. That also means you are getting me with no makeup and coming off a 10-hour shift. So yeah, I look like crap. Sorry. Not really sorry. I'm just doing this while I get a chance. The other downside is that means you're not going to get an update on my temperature stitch along, because I do that on Tuesday mornings, usually right before I record. And it is Monday night. If I have a chance, tomorrow's going to be kind of tight anyway, so this is a great opportunity for me to do this right now. But if I get a chance and I get the temperature stitch along updated, I will record a quick bit with that tomorrow morning and tack it on before upload so that you'll still be able to see my progress on that. So anyway, I hope everybody had a great last week. Mine was better than the previous week. You couldn't get much worse than Labor Day. It was just, I don't know what was going on there. Actually, I think I kind of do. And there was a little bit of that this week. I had the potential to get a lot more stitching done than I actually got done. I think I'm just starting to kind of go into a down phase, and I just don't have as much zest for stitching. When that happens, I spend a lot of time reading fan fiction and on Steam and curled up in my bed cuddling with my puppy. And you know what, that's just life. And so I try not to beat myself up about it too much. I've always had an obsession with like trying to be productive and trying to get stuff done. But I try not to beat myself up about it too much when that happens, because I'm getting to know me a little bit better, and that's just something that does happen to me occasionally. And it's only going to get worse if I just react negatively. So enough psychoanalysis. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're here to see WIPs, right? So first, I have a little bit of a haul update. Famous last words, I'm not going to buy anything else. And then I get the email from 123 Stitch saying that pattern that you wanted us to let you know when it was back in stock is back in stock. Well, does it really count as spending after you said you weren't going to if it's something that you wanted to buy before you said you weren't going to spend? I think it's close enough. So anyway, this is Sleepy Hollow from Glendon Place. And I hope you can see this. But I've seen this one on a couple of different Instagram pages, and I just absolutely fell in love with it, and I had to have it. So I ordered it, and then promptly screwed up because, oh, I don't know where they went. Oh, they're there. The problem is Lexi came up and climbed up onto the couch and pushed a bunch of stuff off, so I may be scrambling to find things. So I ordered most of what I needed to go with it, and a couple things 1, 2, 3 Stitch was out of. One of them was it calls for a Karen Water Lilies color, and so I knew that one right away. But it also called for Krennic number 4 braid in 3 colors, and when I put everything in my cart, it gave me, it said 2 of the colors were in stock and 1 was out. It's like, that's fine, I have to order the watercolors that was out of stock also. So I went to a different store. I knew the water lilies, or watercolors, it's watercolors. I knew exactly which one that was, and I thought I knew which color the Krennic was, because it calls for silver or antique silver, mermaid, and star green. So I promptly put mermaid into my cart, and then my order from 1, 2, 3 Stitch came, and this is mermaid. It was actually the star green. So I'm gonna have 2 spools of mermaid and 0 spools of star green, but that's fine because it's the border, and according to the directions, that's the last part I have to stitch anyway, and let's be honest, I really shouldn't be starting anything new right now anyway, so don't need it. But anyway, that was my haul. I also got, I don't know if you can see them in there, but I also got the Mill Hill beads. There were 2 colors of those that I needed. So that'll sit hopefully for a while, but we all know my resolve for new starts is very weak. I've got 2 to show you this week. So let's go right into showing you updates. So, birth announcement. I actually have starting to make some decent progress on this one. You can see I've got the entire weight, 7 pounds 11. This is going to be ounces, but here's the page break right here, and I've kind of just been trying to stay on one page. So I've got almost all of the weight. Over here is going to be the length. This is the time, so that you can see that's what I'm starting next. I just have the time and then a little bit of this border here, and then I will be on the last page. And I'm so excited because I did not expect this to take as long as it did. You see the picture and you're like, oh, it's straightforward and it's simple. And then you realize that the size, this is an 8.5 by 11 inch, or well, it's an 8 by 10, designed for an 8 by 10 frame. So a lot of these things, even though they're very simple, they're massive. The length is gonna take me a while because those numbers are big. Not as big as the first name letters, but big. This one for you. Continuing on with the Stitching Book Club Stitch Along for Frankenstein. I have finished both squares that were part of part 1. So we've got down here on the bottom, we've got the ship that the story is taking place on. The gentleman that is writing Frankenstein's story down and sending it in letters to his sister. And then on the top, you've got the classic dark and stormy night with the lightning bolt. Yeah, so I've got that done. This is done until I think the discussion and the next pattern drop are both on the 19th. So this will be put away for a while. I have a few more days left where I can relax and not worry about working on this one. Oh, by the way, the color of the fabric is Barnwood by Picture This Plus at 16 count Aida. And the thread that I'm using is DMC 4015, which is called Stormy Skies. I think kind of an appropriate color for a Frankenstein, especially for the square with the storm in it. I really hope that's not too distracting, but as long as she is playing by herself, she is not bothering me, so I'm not going to try to stop her. Now, the other thing that I think I had just mentioned in passing, because the day I was recording, it had literally come out the day before and I hadn't had a chance to start on it yet. So I got a start on the Dark Queen of the Seas stitch along from Autumn Lane Stitchery with fabric by Under the Sea Fabrics. So here we go. Here is what I've gotten done so far. I've got one little fishy done, and there are 3. So this is the top fish, and then there's another one that kind of comes down this way, and another one that is like over here. Yeah, I am beyond excited about this project. I really enjoy Autumn Lane Stitchery's designs, and so I was really intrigued with the title, and so far it hasn't disappointed me. I mean, those colors are gorgeous, aren't they? And the fabric that Leslie created for it is just, it's perfect. So this is a 1-year stitch along. I mean, obviously, I just got done rolling this up and I'm unrolling it again. This is a fat half. I don't know if you can see all of that, but this piece of fabric is a fat half. So this is not going to be a small piece when it's done. And it's going to take an entire year, and I can't wait. So, with the 1,000,001 things I've got going on, and Wonders of Space drops tomorrow, September 15th, the final portion of that one. So I'm super excited about that. I'm going out of town for the weekend, and I'm not going to bring my entire craft room with me. There's no point anyway, because I'm going to actually spend some time with my dad. So I'm not going to be stitching except after he goes to bed, because I'm a night owl now, since I work at night. So I'm only going to take 2 projects with me, and one of them is going to be Dark Queen of the Seas, because I'd like to get that out of the way, and the other one is going to be Wonders of Space, because I'd really like to finish that one as soon as possible so I can have the Q-snap for Dark Queen of the Seas, because one of the things that's slowing me down on that one is there's just so much fabric that trying to stitch it in a hoop is driving me batty. So those are the 2 projects that I'm going to take up north this weekend. So they're probably the only 2 you'll see next week, besides the updated temperature stitch along, which you'll have 2 weeks worth of. I got 2 new starts in this week. I know I'm not supposed to have any, but these shouldn't be a surprise because I've already told you about them. The first one being the graduation gift for my friend's daughter. When I asked her what she wanted, she said she just wanted something to do with pets, and maybe if I could put incorporate the names of her pets onto it, that would be awesome. So I found this very simple pattern. It's just a heart with 2 paw prints off on the side. She conveniently has a cat and a dog whose names she wanted on it. So I'm just going to back stitch their names across the paw prints. But since it was so simple, I wanted to do something a little bit more fun with it. So I decided to put it on a super fun fabric. And this is Galaxy by Mystic Fabrics. And you can see I've got some cute little toe beans in here. I'm starting to get the top of the paw. I just barely started working on this one, but yeah, I'm gonna do it in white on Galaxy. I guess I should mention this is Galaxy 1.0. I know that she has had issues with the dye supplier discontinuing the blue that she used to make this, so she's found a new one, and I missed the fabric games this weekend. Kind of on purpose, because I didn't want to spend any money. But apparently I missed the new Galaxy, which a lot of people were saying is even prettier than this. So this exact thing may not be available anymore, but there is a similar fabric that is equally as gorgeous. So Mystic Fabrics Galaxy. The fun part about this is, since this is so small and simple, I realized that it only took half the piece of fabric that I'd ordered. So I cut it, and then I get to keep this half for myself, and I'll find something fun to put on it eventually. But when I realized that that was not going, that I was going to have so much empty space, there was no way I couldn't keep myself from making sure that all of this fabric got used. This is opalescent Galaxy. I think she does make it without the opalescent, or on the non-opalescent fabric. So that was one of my 2 starts. The other one I've also mentioned, and that is Stitchonomy's Halloween Stitch Along. I decided to bite the bullet and go ahead and do that one. So the frame has already dropped. It dropped on September 10th. I think I've mentioned this before. I don't really like doing frames, and you've probably seen it on Wonders of Space, and I know you saw it on Everything is Fine, The Good Place Stitch Along, that I kind of like to fill in the borders as I go. Part of that is so that if I make a counting error, I can kind of clean up the fudge a little bit. Part of it is that I don't like just stitching straight lines ad nauseum. So what I did with this one was I found the center, and then I just basically counted the squares up and out until I got to the top where the big banner is. And so I'm going to do the banner and the embellishments on the top, and then I'm going to fill the rest of it in as we get started on October 1st. So here's what I've got so far. This is on 16 count Heritage by Picture This Plus. And you can see I've got most of the top banner done. I just have a cauldron left to go, the little bubbling cauldron. Yeah, so that's where this one's at. And then this one will get set aside until October 1st, when the first pattern drops. So that's what I worked on this week. I have one other new project I'm gonna start, and I was thinking about this earlier tonight. This is literally a snap decision that I just made earlier tonight. But I've had this pattern for a while, and I bought it specifically wanting to be done with it this year. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it, and that is Summer House Stitchworks Sister Suffragette. And the reason I want to do this one this year is because this is the centennial for the 19th Amendment that gave white women the right to vote. It was obviously other groups did not get the right to vote until later, but this was the first of the groups of women in the United States to get suffrage. So I kind of wanted to do that this year. And you can see this is 1920 to 2020. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started with the goal to have it done by Election Day. Voting is something that's important to me, and please do vote, especially this year. Regardless of who you're voting for, I'm not going to push my opinion. And yes, even if you're going to vote for the guy I don't want, go out and exercise your right to vote, because a lot of people fought really hard for that. So that's my soapbox for today. Quick little media update. I haven't been doing a lot of watching stuff while I stitch. I've played the audio of Frankenstein. I've watched a couple Flosstubes while I stitch, which is kind of fun because it makes me feel like I've got a stitchy circle going. But mostly I've just been enjoying quiet while I stitch lately. It's been kind of nice. It also helps me figure out where trouble is when she's not in the room and I can't see her. But I have been listening to one podcast that I'm going to highly recommend. The Science Geek in me just loves this one. And a lot of people have probably heard of it because it's been around since 2013. But I just recently started listening to it, like in the last maybe 6 months. And that is Sawbones, A Marital Tour of Misguided Medicine. It's a comedy podcast about all of the crazy things people have tried all throughout history for millions of different kinds of medical ailments. So there's been an episode on trepanation, and an episode on lobotomy, and an episode on patent medicines, and an episode on birth control, and just really fascinating stuff. And I really like the I really like the attitude that they take towards it and the information that they share, and it's a lot of fun. So if that sounds like it might be up your alley, I highly recommend checking it out. But yeah, that's really, I haven't been doing a lot of watching TV or anything while I've been stitching lately, and the quiet's been kind of nice. So it sounds like my dryer just went off, so fingers crossed that I get to go to bed sometime soon. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye!